Hello everyone, this is Gundam Battle Assault. I'll be using the first part of this video to explain how some of the functions work on the main menu. Most of the game is in English, but I figured it would be worth showing at least how some of these work. The first option here is the story mode, or the mission mode, or whatever you want to call it. And you click the first button here, and that's the load option. It shows you that. Normally you only see the top option, which is new game. So don't worry if that option is grayed out. Second one here is for the versus and co-op modes. The first option there is single player. Second is for LAN. Third option here is catalog. Shows you the various options here. I'll go through them very briefly. This here is your mobile suits, your Gundams, your magnet coating. Let's see, G3, ground assault. The second one here is the characters. All the ones I have unlocked currently anyway. Not everyone. I'll just skim through some of them here. This is your, your standard warfare, old world stuff. Big tray, newer stuff obviously as well. This here is more or less just basic information about the story of Gundam. If you've seen, the Universal Century, you pretty much know most of this. Option here is for the pictures, the loading screens that you've seen so far in the game. There's quite a lot, as you can tell. I don't have all of them. These are just a few. Really, there's like at least 300 at the bare minimum. Option here is your records for the mission mode. Your progress, your percentage, which of your characters you've created has the highest scores, stuff like that. It's real basic. Last option here is for the music, obviously. You got Char's theme, Men of Destiny, Zeta Gundam stuff. There are some OVAs in there as well, but we'll get to those later. This option here is for the password system. Now, I won't go into a whole lot of detail about this right now. That's basically this promo code you can use to unlock some things. And here's the basic options: your background music, your character voice, your sound effects levels. I have everything set to default here, so I can't really tell you anything about B or C control types. But now that we've gone through those, I will show you how to create a character. How to, like as if you were starting out for the first time. I will be loading and playing through one of my files, but for now I'll show you. Obviously this would normally be blank, but for me I'll choose the fourth option. Now here it's telling you to create your pilot. You choose, which faction you want to be in. For this video I'll just choose Earth Federation. The difference between new types and normal here is that new types start with really low stats, but they level up very quickly, and obviously they can use new type only mobile suits. Normal style pilots, they have really high stats and they level up very slowly. And here are your 6 character options. Each of them have different voices as well. Here's where you name. First option, second option, third option's English, obviously, so I'll use that just to give you a demonstration of how it works. And here's your operator, you know, like Sayla or whatever from the shows. They basically just narrate the battles for you as things happen, progress. And this is asking you yes or no. The left option is yes. Now here, since you know it's the 1-year war, it gives you basic information on what the 1-year war is. If you've already seen the original series, you know what it is. And at the bottom there it says your characters start battling in August. And here is the generation select. You know, you have your Mobile Suit Gundam, Stardust Memory, Zeta, Double Zeta, and Charged Counterattack. You play from the beginning to end. And each generation you choose which team you want to be on, basically. So, for example, in yes, on the left is yes. For Zeta, you can choose AU, Titans, or Axis. I chose this one instead of Stardust, since that would still just be Federation and Xeon. And those are the different navigators you have. And this, of course, gives you information on Stardust, which, if you've seen it, you already know. You're not really missing out on anything there. And then it gives you mobile suits for each era. So here I just unlocked the GM2 and the Hyzok for Titans. But that's just showing you how things work, more or less. Now we'll get into some of the more detailed stuff. Actually, you know what? No, I think I'll show you what each of these options do. The top one is, you know, options, as you've seen in the top with the sound effects. The second one, I'm not really quite sure. Third option here is, you know, to load your games. Fourth option is to save. It automatically saves between missions. That's important to know. It's good to know. And of course, you know, see, it showed my file I just created at the bottom. Third option here is, again, your record showing your high scores, your low scores. And that option crashed my emulator, so we're not going to show that because I'm not quite sure. The bottom option here is to go back to the main menu. So we'll just load up, save, and just jump right into the game. And of course there's the other save file I just created. And these are the tutorials, but I won't cover those. Jump right into it here. Briefing, while you cannot read it, the pictures pretty much tell you everything to know. That's where you two start out, you and your wingman, where you can expect some enemies to appear, but there will be surprises more often than not. So let's just jump over here, get into the Gundams. Just pick a pilot. I think for now I'll just choose Shiro and the Ground Assault Gundam. And there's no real other 08 members, so I'll just use the generic NPC I created for the wingman. Give him the GM head Gundam, why not? Let's see. Okay, for these stats right here, that is your health. You can level these up with the points you get. Since I already did the tutorials, I have a base 350 points for each mobile suit. So each of these options here for upgrading is your health, your defense against solid objects like your machine guns, your shotguns, rocket launchers, whatever. Third option here is for beam defense, you know, against beam rifles, beam launchers. Next option below that is your mobility, how fast you move walking on the ground or dashing through the air. Option below that is your thruster output. I believe that's how much thrust you have before you start to overheat, which isn't really as big a factor as it sounds. How fast you move when you dash. Your radar range, which is helpful, but not really as important. I would upgrade that last. Your balance, which quite frankly, I don't know what this does. Honestly, I've played this game for a long time. Upgrading that does not seem to do anything. Your next option is, I believe, based on what I've played, how fast you move when you're turning around. It seems really basic, kind of pointless, but could be useful in certain key situations. Off we go. Start off the mission, press R to lock onto your targets, circle to shoot, left button, your L button, blocks. And you push L and circle to change your weapons. Different weapons have different speeds and different fire rates. So you want to mix and match based on what kind of combat style you prefer and what's best for the situation. Like here, the long-range cannon isn't really meant for that kind of close combat, so I switch over to the machine gun. I go from there, and it's a pretty simple mission, it's the first one, so it's over pretty quick. Your partner AI is really not that bad in this game. Now, here is the mission clear screen. Different options, mean different things, obviously. The top is the time it took and how much health you had. Those are the most important. Below that is and here are your stats. Each of them, do different things, obviously. Top is melee, I believe. Second one's range. Rest of them are all various different things. But that's pretty much all you need to know. Just to navigate the menus, understand what they do, and to play the game. Next part will be more beefy gameplay. See you guys then.